Hi, I'm Father Jim Martin. I'm a Jesuit priest, editor-at-large at America Media, and author of Building a Bridge. In the course of my ministry with LGBT Catholics, both in public lectures and in private conversations, the same questions come up repeatedly. They come up on social media too, though not always in the most charitable of ways. So in the interest of dialogue, I thought I'd answer the most common ones. The first question I commonly hear is, are you challenging church teaching on homosexuality? The answer is no. I've stated this many times in talks and interviews, and even in an article in America called, "What is the Official Church Teaching on Homosexuality?" I'm not challenging church teaching on same-sex marriage, same-sex relations, or anything else for that matter. And if I've said, done, or written anything that seemed to imply otherwise, that wasn't my intent. But church teaching on LGBT people is a great deal more than just the few lines in the Catechism that deal with homosexuality. At heart, church teaching is Jesus and His message of love, mercy, and compassion. And those teachings I'm also not challenging. The second question is, what do you say to LGBT Catholics who don't feel welcome in the church? Many LGBT Catholics don't feel welcome in their own church. Recently, a woman told me that after she told her pastor that she was gay, he said to her, "I've prayed my whole priesthood that I would never meet a gay person. So I understand people who distance themselves from their church." By the same token, I remind them that as baptized Catholics, they are as much a part of the church as the Pope, their local bishop, or me. Some may try to push you out of the church, but why let them? It's your church too. Try to find a parish, though, where you feel welcome, and root yourself in your baptism. Why don't you talk more about chastity? Well, I do talk about chastity in almost every lecture. The topic also comes up often in question and answer sessions. And not to put too fine a point on it, but I'm also living chastity. I've been living my Jesuit vow of chastity for 30 years now. One reason I don't focus on it, though, is because every LGBT Catholic I've ever met, every member of their family, and pretty much every Catholic, already knows church teaching on celibacy and chastity when it comes to homosexuality. There are also many other individuals and groups in the church who focus on that. I'm simply focusing on other topics. How to invite LGBT people to see themselves as loved by God. How to show respect and welcome to LGBT people in Catholic parishes and schools. How we can combat the high incidence of suicide among LGBT youth, and so on. My own ministry focuses on areas I think other people are overlooking. Another question, what did Pope Francis and you discuss during your meeting? In September 2019, I was invited by Pope Francis to a private audience in the Apostolic Palace, which lasted for 30 minutes. The invitation came after I met the Holy Father earlier in the week, during a meeting of the Vatican's Dicastery for Communication, of which I am a consultor. At one point during the audience, Pope Francis asked that the details of our conversation not be shared with the media, but he said that I could share those details with individuals and groups. That was so we could talk freely. But I can say that the Holy Father and I spent the entire time talking about LGBT Catholics and about LGBT people worldwide, and that I felt inspired, consoled, and most of all, encouraged to continue this ministry in peace. It's hard to express how grateful I am for those 30 minutes. Finally, what are the next steps for LGBT ministry in the Catholic Church? First, worldwide, the Church needs to look at countries where LGBT people are routinely beaten, arrested, and executed. In 70 countries, same-sex relations are illegal, and in 6 countries, you can be executed for engaging in them. So in these places, LGBT issues are life issues. Tragically, some Catholic bishops have even supported these repressive laws. Thus, the decriminalization of homosexuality is an important measure for the Church to support. Next, in the West, the church needs to confront the bullying and persecution, and especially the suicides brought on by homophobia. Finally, in the U.S., the church must stop firing married LGBT people from their positions in Catholic institutions. Because if you're going to fire people for not following church teaching, that would include a lot more than just married LGBT people. Otherwise, it's not enforcing church teaching, it's engaging in discrimination. But a far more basic step for the church is to do something brand new with LGBT people. Listen to them. Thanks to everyone who has supported this ministry, which I share with many Catholic individuals, parishes, schools, and organizations across the world. And please keep all of us, and especially our LGBT friends, in your prayers.